feel like you, as the musical part of our duo, need to write us a like a musical intro. Like, so, yeah.
Unpolished.
That's great. We kind of landed on Unpolished yesterday because so welcome, my name's Jessie, this is Kirsty. If you want to hear about our journey of being in the outback doing ministry, listen to the first 3 episodes.
First 3, which is nuts.
I know, right?
It's actually crazy.
Who knew that you and me could talk for nearly 3 hours? Pretty well everyone that's ever met us.
I think everyone knew.
Everyone knew. No one's surprised by that part. They're probably more surprised we had the organisational skills to put this together.
Like there was been a lot of congratulations. For this podcast, which I was like, oh, that's actually an appropriate response. But I would not have said that. I would have just been like, good job.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So we landed on Unpolished because what was the word you had used? It was an unfiltered...
Unhinged? No.
Unhinged. You're like, we should just make an unhinged podcast. And I was like, oh, I don't really want to call ourselves unhinged. Like, that feels a bit too far. But I feel like Unpolished is a good representation. I did look on Spotify. We are not the only podcast called Unpolished, but my goal is that we become the most famous one.
But I think that that's like a good marketing tool though too, because...
people could stumble across us while looking for someone else.
And then they could... Like, you know, the worst thing that could happen is they realise that we're human beings, that we're normal human beings, and they... get saved and love Jesus just as much as we do. So, yeah. So,
I have some questions for us for this pod.
Okay, I love questions.
Yeah, they're in a few different categories.
Okay.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's good. We're going to do some on faith and life, some on friendship and community, and then some on ministry, calling, and if we get time, we might do some outback, small town life.
I feel like we need sparkly jackets and, like...
yeah.
Like a cool
There's a whole lot of questions here.
Well, okay.
So I think this could become a regular thing, but maybe next time people could comment some questions they have for us in the future. So we're happy to kind of talk about anything. We are unpolished, so we're not hiding away from anything.
And we're not professionals either.
No.
So, like, if we say something we shouldn't say, just let us know.
Well, I'm hoping we don't. I want to be really authentic in the stories that I share, but I'm also wanting to... I guess, protect people when they involve other people in bits and pieces. So, but that's fine. So, Kirsty, and I'll answer these questions as well. What spiritual habit has shaped you the most in the last few years?
Spiritual habit, I think just worshipping through the storms.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's like mine, is like praying and worshipping through the storms. Like, you know... And that's like what you said about, you know, in the last podcast, how you just reminded me that like when I'd lost my job, I just kind of spent that day and then all of a sudden send you a song, you know, about...
That was kind of funny because we were in the pool and you had gone, I was in my pool and you had gone to get something and you were coming back to swim. And I had like some indie Aussie classic playlist on.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't particularly Christian. And I probably listen to Christian music more often than not, but just was like, oh yeah, let's chuck on some like old bangers.
Just mix it up, yeah.
And you came back, you're like, Jessie, we need to listen to this worship song.
I literally had, and like just for context for everyone, is I literally left your house, went back home, got my bathers on, heard this song on the way.
Yeah, for like the first time.
To home, and I heard it for the first time, and I was like, you know how like randomly we can speak about Spotify because we're on Spotify, but like randomly on Spotify, sometimes it'll just like start creating playlists like based on what you... Oh my goodness, can you stop? Thank you.
We still have some furry friends with us.
We've just got some furry friends again. But Spotify will start recommending songs that...
Based on other songs.
Yeah, based on what you've been listening to.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of like... randomly jumped in my car and then I was like, because I've got Apple CarPlay, I called out, you know.
Play me some worship music.
I was like, just play worship music.
Siri.
And I was like, I was in the mood for like, let's get death metal or something. like put something like that's just like, bleh. But then I just kind of felt like it and I was like, oh, I just
It's choosing to worship.
I was
yeah.
like, hey Siri, just play music. Can you just stop? Thank you. No more. Right. Okay. Not you listening, talking to the
Maybe
dog.
we'll edit that part out and I'll go put her out. Leela.
Other dog's coming. That's right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So
You asked Siri.
yeah, I just was in like in an average mood, and I just kind of, I almost felt numb. You know how like if you get like struck with so much bad news and you just don't know how to process it, so your body you just kind of go numb.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just was numb, and so I just kind of was sitting in my car, and I was like, oh, I don't want to drive in silence. So I just kind of was like, hey Siri, play some music. Sorry, my phone just heard me. But I was just like, play some music. And that's all I said. And then all of a sudden it was like playing a worship playlist, blah, blah, blah. And so I was like, oh, okay, all right, here we go. Like, but then this song came on and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, this is the song. I can't even remember what the song was
I
called.
have no evidence for this. And I know, like, the geeks out there, I'm married to massive nerd who that's not how it works. But I swear the Holy Spirit just interferes with the algorithm sometimes.
Oh, just completely.
Yeah, you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, but I was just kind of like, was like, oh, and then this song came on and it was like, all the battles like belong to God. Like it's not
I liked it because it was like, it wasn't even the battle. I can't remember what song it was, but it wasn't even that the battle belongs to God. It was that God has already won the battle. And I was like, I really like that because there's like, no, I'm not throwing flack on any particular songs, but there's a lot of songs that talk about like God being in the battle. But I'm like, no, he's already won the battle.
Yeah.
Like he already knows how this ends. Yeah. And he's already working it together for our good.
Yeah. So it was like, that was just like crazy. But I just kind of, a thing that I can't get across to anyone as much as this right now, I literally, and if you know me, I'm quite a joyful person, I'd say.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, if something goes wrong, in any everyday life, I actually laugh at it. Like I don't know how to I'm not a very good. If I was
takes a fair whack of things to like shake you.
If I was in like a situation, say like someone's lost their arm or something, my immediate response is to make jokes about while they're bleeding out and kind of everyone else is panicking. But I'm just kind of I'm comedic help. I'm just kind of like, and so like this kind of thing, when it happens to me, I need that person. I need someone to kind of jump on the Kirsty wagon and then go, it's like, let's make jokes about this. But then like God's just kind of like, actually, I'm going to make you feel secure and I'm going to make you feel so good about it. And then I just kind of was like, there was just like this battle in my own mind the next day because I was like, oh, like I just feel so like bleh about everything. But then I just continued to worship. And even when I got home, my husband was like, if you knew my husband, if you've met him before, he's the type of person that like he'll whip out some gangster rap, but then like his playlist is like so mixed up. It's
even more so than mine.
Yeah, so his playlist is like so mixed up because it'll just be like, it'll be on like, slagging off whatever, but then it'll be like, praise you, Lord.
Yeah.
Like the next song, and it's like, it's actually gotten a lot better.
Oh, 100%. It's gotten a lot better.
A lot better. Like just
we both, while you guys were living with us for a few weeks, me and Richard both hyperfixated on the new 360 album.
Yeah.
Which was interesting because that's
really annoying, but that's all right.
Excuse me. That was an interesting album as well because it was kind of like as he was coming to Christ, it was produced. So there's still some like language and stuff in it.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So that's very cool.
But yeah, so like the answer to your question was
Worship. We just continue to worship.
Just continue to worship, like even through the bad stuff. Because even like, and what I was saying before when I was at the front, I was like, I've had the poopiest week ever.
Yes, I can't remember what you said, but it was something along those lines.
I can't remember, but it's better than saying nibble on someone. So
Which you did say once. Yeah, I think for me, I'm just reading this question again, like what spiritual habit has shaped you most in the last few years? I think for me, I don't know if it's like most, but has been something that I've incorporated, which people could argue is not a spiritual habit, but whatever.
Yeah.
Has been gardening.
Yeah.
So I had like all of the front of my yard was paving, and we took out all the paving and put in a lovely big garden. And I grow flowers and vegetables and stuff. But I often will be praying while I'm in my garden. And so it's just that time. And it's also, I think, because gardens are unpredictable and, you know, you've got to plant seeds and let them grow. So there's just so much. I mean, that analogy is just through so much of the Bible.
Yeah.
And there's like a scripture that says, God, I planted the seed, Apollos watered it, but God made it grow.
Yeah.
And so it's just like this, I feel like I'm in this joint project with the Lord, and that's really good for my relationship with him. Like it's beautiful. Sometimes I'll be out there with like worship music or a podcast in my headphones, but I've been trying more and more to be out there and just be out there. And I take the little doggies with me, and we just, be out there gardening. So that is cool.
Little doggy.
I'm just like looking at these questions. I'm like, you're not going to have any short answers. We're going to do like 4 questions for this whole podcast. That's okay.
We've got an hour.
What worship song is currently wrecking you in the best way?
Oh,
it's a good one.
That's it.
You can open your Spotify if you need to like
all right.
be reminded. I'm going to have a look as well so I can answer it.
Actually, there was a song yesterday that it's actually real good. I think it's a newer one. Where is Spotify? Okay, sorry. We're trying to find songs.
Yeah, I'm just like looking through my current list of worship faves. I'm like, they're all so good.
Okay, so a song that's completely just like getting me in the feels at the moment, and I'm pretty sure it's this one. No, it is this one. That I'm just like, just all about, especially since the last 5 years of just being like so hectic and like nuts. I just haven't spent enough time being grateful for what I've, you know, and in this season of unemployment at the moment is like I'm actually grateful for it. And so there's a song, I don't know if you've heard it, but it's by Elevation Worship. Chandler Moore sings it, and it's called God, I'm Just Grateful. And it's like a real,
I think I do know that one. Yeah.
It's actually just nuts because like the lyrics, I'm going back to the, anyway, the lyrics on here, it says I. And so if I read it out, it would sound like that I might have a stutter, but I don't have a stutter. I just don't know how to get my words out.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much just a declaration just to kind of go, like I am actually so
Gratitude
grateful.
is so powerful, and it's such a theme in scripture, but it's also just like something they've realized in psychology.
Yeah.
That the power of being grateful is just huge.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. For me, I have, this is good because there's not actually a lot of lyrics in it. There's an old, it's not, I think it's like 90s. It's an old Jesus culture song called Holy Spirit. And I just had for like weeks the chorus, which is Holy Spirit, you're welcome here. Come flood this place and feel the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for, to be overcome by your presence, Lord. And I just had that that in my head, like every time I go into a prayer meeting, that's just all I could think about, was that song ruminating in my head. And then we sang it. We have like once a month we have an evening service. We combine with another church and just really worship and pray and however the Lord leads. And it's a really beautiful time. So we did it then. And we worked out the rest of the verses. And so there's nothing worth more that will ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. And I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves where my heart becomes free and my shame is undone in your presence, Lord. And I think I haven't really talked about this yet, but my journey over the last couple of years is I went overseas and visited quite a big church over there and had an encounter with the Lord that has just molded me and shaped me. Like,
Yeah.
you look like you're going to cry again.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I promise.
That has just like molded me and shaped me in such a profound way and removed so much fear from my life. And since then, I don't want to, I wrestle with not wanting to just constantly just be at the altar and constantly be in his presence. Part of that encounter was I had all logic left me. It's really important. And I was like, I'm going to spend the rest of my life just sitting here in this spot where the Lord is.
Yeah.
Like the presence of God was so strong in that place that I was like, I'm not leaving. Like I'm just going to spend the rest of my, like if I just sit here till I starve to death and then I go be with Jesus, like that's fine. Like all logic had just completely left. And for months afterwards, I couldn't even talk about Jesus without crying. Like it was just such a beautiful season of intimacy with the Lord. And I just think like that's where my heart longs to be. And I think that that's a taste of heaven, is that we just will sit there in his glory and in his presence. And so it would make sense if you've tasted heaven to not want to then leave it. Like obviously logically I wanted to like I was in America, like I wanted to come home and see my family and children again and all that kind of stuff. But in the moment, the presence of God was so strong. And so coming back to this song, which is quite an old song, subjectively, like it's not old compared to Amazing Grace, but, you know, I think it's like 20 years old. And I had sung that song in my youth, but coming back to it, I was like, oh, this song articulates what's been going on in my heart so beautifully. There's also an album by Josiah Queen that I think articulated some things really well for me in that season. Like he talks about going back to Eden, it ain't going to be easy, but if it leads me straight to you, and just wanting to kind of go back to the original design the Lord had for us and running home like a prodigal. And I was a senior pastor. I wasn't wayward before I went on this trip by any means, but I just think it makes me really excited because I'm like, I've realized that there's always more.
Yeah.
There's always more. He always has something else for us. We don't reach some pinnacle and that's it. And I've even spoken to people well into their 80s in our congregation and they agree with that. They're like, yeah, there's always something more with the Lord.
Yeah.
Like this side of heaven, you don't reach fulfillment of that. Cool. All right. Should we do some other questions?
Here's some more questions.
Okay. What is a misconception people have about being a Christian millennial today?
Oh, that's a rough one. Because, like, there's been times where, like, you know, I don't, like, people that have been close to me, and I'm not going to mention names, but, like, people that have been close to me.
That's wise.
Thanks. Have really thought about this. Like, have been, like, hurt by churches.
So much church hurt.
Like, and so I think being a millennial generation of, like, you know, the people that were hurt by those churches, like churches were like from the generations prior, and just kind of like, it's kind of like being a millennial and then kind of coming back into that church, like to try and like get rid of, there's almost like a social stigma about being a Christian because there's been so much negativity that's come from it. And like, I don't know if you remember, like there was a time where there was like some like fraudulent ministers or whatever over times in our, like within the state.
Yes.
That kind of, you know, just like expose themselves for like the wrong
I
reasons.
feel like it's a problem with our generation in that we throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Yeah.
And so I also feel like it's in terms of like misconceptions, I think the ones of us who are still in church, the misconception is that we're like naive or emotionally immature
Yeah.
or still being like abused by the church.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case. But I think our whole generation it's like we see it with a lot of people choosing to completely remove their parents from their lives.
Yeah.
Now I want to say really clearly, like if you've been abused significantly, that may be the most appropriate decision for
Yeah.
you. But I also think there's a lot of people that have just been like, I don't need to talk to my mum and dad anymore because X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And there is no perfect parents, but we've almost taken this concept of boundaries and holding people accountable and counselling and that whole sphere.
Yeah.
Which I'm all for those things. I think boundaries are a really great idea. I'm like, everybody can benefit from counselling.
Yeah.
People, like as a pastor, sometimes people come to me, they're like, do I need a counsellor? I'm like, everybody needs counselling. I've been to counselling, like everybody needs counselling.
Yeah.
Like if you can afford it and you have access to it, you should do it.
Yeah.
It's not a thing that just the dodgy people in society
I just feel like
need to fix them.
I'm a big advocate for like putting all of your issues out on the table and working through them constructively.
Yeah, it's just brilliant. So I'm all
actually
for those
quite a mature
things.
thing to do,
But
too.
I think we've swung, particularly in millennials, we've swung too far. And we've
Yeah.
seen that in the church as well. They're like, oh, well, I don't need church. I don't want to be a part of church, blah, blah. And it just kind of breaks my heart because I know for us, like we've been in the same circles since we were like 10. And I remember being in youth group and I had probably half a dozen people that I was really close friends with and they were all super on fire for the Lord. And they all came from like really solid Christian homes as
Yeah.
well. And I'm the only one that's still in church.
Yeah.
Like not the only one serving in ministry, the only one still in church.
Yeah.
And some of them I've had conversations with and they still consider Jesus their Lord, but for whatever
Yeah.
reason they don't want to be in church. Some are like, nah, it was all just a hoax.
Yeah.
And that really breaks my heart. I'm like, yeah. And it's an interesting time to be alive. There's another girl that we both know and I follow her on social media. I probably haven't spoke with her in over a decade. And she's recently come back to the Lord and gotten baptized and is just posting about how wonderful it is to be in church again. I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Like, bring it on, Lord. I want more of that. But I think there was a lot of, and even in the realm of church hurt, it's like people can only do what they can do with the information they've got. And I look at a lot of that and it wasn't people with ill intent. There was some people with ill intent. There was some people that made some morally just decrepit decisions.
Yeah.
But there was also a lot of people that were just victims of some really poor leadership teaching.
Yeah. Yeah.
That weren't actually given the skills to manage people in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And as a pastor, I'm like, I'm going to damage somebody. Like it's
Yeah.
almost inevitable and that
Yeah.
breaks my heart. But I'm like, I can do everything I can do, but I only have the knowledge and skills that I have,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. So
I just think a big important thing is just to love
Yeah.
instead. Like, you know, like God is love. And so if we want to like go into like just the world and kind of then people will look at you and kind of go, oh, you're a Christian, you're one of those. And you know, I've had so many people go,
Yeah.
oh, you're a Christian, you're one of those people. Like, I want them to know that I'm actually still a human being, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not just like this random girl that wears weird clothes and, you know, has my hair weird or like puts on funny earrings to get a laugh, you know? Like I'm actually a human being that has emotions and, you know, has work ethics and has like, you know, and actually morals.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not in there. Yeah, I'm definitely such a, that was,
No, it's all
You
very
get it.
legit. Yeah, and I think just even with the idea of misconceptions, I was working at a local chain store in town for a couple of years, and I was working with a young person one night, and they were like, oh, I didn't think that you would be a Christian.
yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, have I done something, like, did I accidentally swear, or like I don't really swear very much, or did I do something that made them think I wasn't a follower of Jesus?
Yeah.
Because I'm so in this mindset of like a Christian is a follower of Jesus. But then when I got talking with them, they're like, no, because like you're too. I'm not trying to talk myself up, but they said you're too cool. Or like, and you just relate to us so well. And I've only ever been around Christians that are like so stuck up.
Yeah.
And even like as a 30-something blonde woman with tattoos, like people do not presume that my job is pastor.
Yeah.
Like as a minister.
Yeah.
So even that is interesting because, you meet somebody and chat with them a little bit, and it's kind of a really cool evangelism tool, I guess, in that most people have to try and work into the conversation. Oh yeah, I went to church on Sunday, or I go to church. One of the first things people often ask about you is what you do for work.
Yeah.
And so it comes out very quickly for me in conversations. But yeah, I think we've answered that question, but it's very interesting. I think as a generation, we're seeing so much, like the next generation is like flooding back into the church. That's what all the stats are saying.
Yeah.
But us and maybe even Gen Xers are still kind of on the sidelines. And I'm like, Lord, move in my generation. All right, let's move on to some more friendship-based questions. How did we become friends, and what's kept us in each other's lives? Because we kind of started in 2020, but we knew each other, I reckon we would have met early 2000s.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So,
do you want to share the story, or do you want me to share my side first? Because that's...
I don't mind. Well,
okay.
I'll start because it kind of starts really cool. So when I was 9, I didn't have a relationship with the Lord. I went to church maybe twice a year with my grandma, but my parents were quite agnostic, and so it was, yes, there's a God out there, and if you do the right thing, then you'll go to heaven. And that was kind of it. There wasn't a lot of teaching about God. But I knew he existed. And so I really struggled at school. I was picked on quite a lot. I was a super weird kid, and I was a super annoying kid.
Yeah.
Like, I can actually say that in hindsight. I'm like, gosh, I was annoying. Like, I get why I didn't have friends. But
sorry.
We had this beautiful couple next door to us who were a Christian couple, actually. They were quite elderly, and we used to go there and they'd bake us cookies, and it was just a really lovely, like, they lived next door. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And then they moved out, so that was really devastating for me as a kid. And so I prayed. I remember I knelt down next to my bed because I had a storybook, and that's how the girl prayed in the storybook.
Yeah.
So I did like the prayer hands, and I knelt down next to my bed, and I asked God just for one friend. And that friend is actually the mutual person who we met through. So they moved into the house next door a couple of weeks later, and that family was the family that initially
shout out to you if you're listening, because
brought me to
you know who
church.
you are. But anyway.
I feel like, I don't know, like we talked about lots of names last podcast, but now we're a bit like, oh, should we be doing that? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Our sound guy was very like at us today about it.
Don't be too loose.
Yeah.
So yeah, we met through that friend. So I don't know if you want to pick up the story from there.
Yeah. So like, I just kind of like, I went to school with that friend as well. And so she'd only just come to school. So I went to a school that was like, you know, like ELC, preschool, whatever you want to call it, to year 12. So she went to just a public primary school, and then came over in year 7 or 8, year 8, I think, and, you know, did high school at the school that I was at.
Did she? Wasn't she there from like 9 years old?
No.
Where was she?
Well, I'll discuss this after, because then I can give details. But
oh, okay. Yeah, of course. Anyways. So
maybe
you met her.
she can actually let you know, because then she would actually... Anyway, so I became friends with her, and then we realised that, like, years prior, we actually went to kids' church together.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually so funny.
Which I just think is so cool to look back on, because I think a lot of churches these days are about, oh, we're not doing that. We don't want to work together.
Yeah.
But, like, all the local churches would put all their kids on buses.
No, it was on one random bus.
One random bus. And so you'd get to church and you would, like, sign up for Sunday school, get on the bus.
It was actually called KFC.
Yeah, and then the bus would go around and pick all the kids up, and they called it KFC.
Yeah.
So I actually got taken to church.
It stood for Kids for Christ, not like
yeah, but I
chicken.
genuinely thought I was going to KFC. My neighbours were like, do you want to come to KFC with us on Sunday? I'm like, sure, KFC sounds great. And that was how I first went to, like, Sunday school and church and stuff.
Yeah. which is actually like crazy because
So we were both there. So we would have been like, I reckon I was 9.
I reckon I would have been, about the same age.
Yeah.
But like, so I remember going to that and then seeing her and her sister. And like, I did a thing back then that was run by the Uniting Church.
Our mutual friend and her sister, not me, because I don't have any sisters.
So not you, but our mutual friend and her little sister and myself did a thing, and I'm challenging you to share our podcast if you also did this too and you were there with us. That's a good challenge for you guys. But like, I did a thing called Girls Brigade, and it was like a Christian Girl Scouts.
Like Girl Guides.
Yeah,
right.
Like Girl Guides. So it was like a Christian Girl Guides, and it was like, you'd kind of go in on a Wednesday night. And I remember it was specifically a Wednesday night because straight after, my mum would she'd pick me up after the thing and then make me go buy the local newspaper when it was like hot off the press before it got released on the Thursday morning. So I remember it was a Wednesday night that this thing happened. But and like we just, made so many memories, but then just kind of like I don't know what happened, but it just kind of stopped. And then we all just kind of got too old, and then no one else was really interested in it, and we were like in year 8 at that point.
It's still a thing.
I think it is. I actually think it is, but it's like maybe only South Australian, or maybe it is Australia-wide. I'm not sure. But so we did that, and then kind of was like, hey, you're the girl. Like she'd gone to like a transition day at school, and I was like, I'm going to go meet the new girl.
Oh, so that's how you met her, this mutual friend. Yeah, okay.
So like, and then I was like, hey, we did like kids church together, and we did like
Girl Scouts.
Girls Brigade together. And so like we did that kind of stuff, and then we kind of like found a new mutual sort of friendship within that. And like we were friends. We just kind of like hit it off the next year at school, and then like we became such close friends throughout that year that once I thought it was like appropriate, and I was like, a bit of like a spud when it came to like social awareness when I think back at it, but I thought that it would be appropriate. We were playing, we were just playing tricks on each other, and so one day I like was really mean. It was really mean, but I pulled her chair out from underneath her. And she went to sit down, and then she was like, oh, you don't understand, I've got problems with my spine. And I was like, okay,
we're going on some weird tangents.
So I got in trouble.
So this person is how we met.
This person is how we met.
Yeah, so I do remember coming home from school, and you, I think, had caught the bus home from school for like a play date or something.
Nah, it was a sleepover because I didn't have play dates. No one was going to go pick you up. Do you know what? Anyway, so we met then. I went to netball. I went to netball with her one day, and then it was like winter and it was cold, and that's what netball is. But I went to netball, and she was like, "Yeah, check this out," and then I learned about the ins and outs of netball too. Yeah.
So we kind of met through that, and what's interesting is you kind of, in a previous podcast, talked about how you'd been in a church for a long time. So you actually met my husband well before I did as well.
Yeah, I was like 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were kind of in neighbouring churches and different schools, but met through her. So we've known each other and been in the same circles for, well, if we were 12, that would put it on 22 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes me feel old.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So yeah, that's just kind of how we met. And then...
Oh, no, I was 12 when I met your husband. I wasn't 12 when we did kids' church together, but we didn't really convene at kids' church.
No. So, yeah, that's just kind of how that happened. And then basically over the course of your wedding, we were telling somebody about this the other day. Like, obviously we were quite good friends. You asked me to be a bridesmaid, but we really kind of connected over that and kind of been besties since. So
yeah. Like, even like leading up to, I think was kind of like, meh. Like,
also, I just want to say on mic, because we did have some feedback on the podcast.
Okay.
I think that your sister did a fabulous job of being your maid of honour, and well deserved that, because I just like made a little crack that I don't know why I wasn't the maid of honour, and I just want, I just want your sister to know that that was just to be funny.
She did say sucker, like something along those lines.
Yeah, but she did it like her organisational skills. She's a teacher. She did a far better job.
And I feel like I want to keep, while we're on mic, want to commend her because she went through a lot of traumatic stuff.
Oh yeah, she
through that entire situation as well.
Her
So
her
hats
own
off.
life was just a bit crazy. Okay,
Yeah.
maybe if we get really unfiltered, we'll tell the story of your hens. But I don't know if I'm
Yeah.
ready to do that yet.
Unfiltered, unhinged, and untamed. What are we?
Unpolished.
Unpolished.
Yeah.
Sorry. I should know the name of our podcast, but yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's try. I'm trying to find some fun ones. Okay. These are some outback small town life
Okay.
questions. What's the most Broken Hill thing that's ever happened to you?
Oh, cheese slaw.
Cheese
Hands
slaw.
down. It's like that's like, and it's foul.
I don't even think it's a Broken Hill thing, though.
I think I've never had like.
You've never had it. I
don't know.
swear I had it before coming to Broken Hill. So just for the listeners, cheese slaw in its most basic form is cheese, like grated cheese, grated carrot and mayonnaise.
Oh, it's like,
but
it'd be better just
you
eating
can add
dry toilet
Have you had
paper.
Have you had it with like sweet pickled gherkins as well?
No, because I just
So good.
It's written off in my brain. It's just like cheese slaw and nah.
But I don't understand. I swear I've had it before. Like I feel like I used to have it as a
Probably
kid.
someone from Broken Hill brought it to a party.
But just as like really to me, it's just like a really basic coleslaw.
Yeah, but why cheese? Like, why not? Cabbage is so much cheaper than cheese.
But it's so good. Anyway,
sorry, that's my gripe with Broken Hill is cheese slaw.
I don't know what the
They
most
sell
broken.
cheese slaw in like little cafeterias and like delis and stuff here, and
We're kind of known for it.
I don't know. Like, you know, if I go to like the deli,
Yeah.
and I want to go get, you know, like a roast beef sandwich or something, like I don't know, just throwing it
Roast
out
beef
there.
and cheese slaw. Brilliant.
Nah, can't think of anything worse.
Okay. I don't know what the most Broken Hill thing to happen to me.
Oh, and people saying their A's as E's. I'm sorry if you do that, but I've picked on it, the people that I do know that do it.
I feel like there's some Broken Hill vocab that has creeped into my vocab.
Yeah, like
So-
use.
No, I would never say use.
Okay,
When
good.
people say
Right.
use. But so if you are not born in Broken Hill, you
Yeah.
are from away.
Yeah, you said that. Yeah,
Yeah.
you actually said it today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that doesn't matter if you're from, like, I know people from South Africa, I know people from England. We're 6 hours down the road in the nearest capital city. Doesn't matter. You're from away. But in Broken Hill, they say from away. And so I find myself, when people say you are local, I say, no, I'm from away. And I'm like, what just came out of my mouth? I really hope we're not like offending all of Broken Hill. I love cheese slaw.
I'm sorry. I actually am not sorry for that. I don't like cheese slaw.
So I feel like that's made its way into my vocab.
A milk product and a vegetable product should combine.
Let's try and turn the conversation around about some positives. So what do you love most about living in a small remote community?
Okay, temperature. Okay, so in the last 5 years, I've had multiple broken bones,
Yeah.
right? So 2 of those times were both my wrists broke, not at the same time, within like a year and a half of each other, but I broke my left wrist because I'd landed wrong as I tripped over a step.
Is this all just leading that if you do it again, you'll get a free helicopter ride?
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice. All right, if you're listening, the helicopter guy in Broken Hill.
No, anyway, it's gone.
No, but I'm like, the temperature here is like in the Adelaide Hills, it's cold, it's dense, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like, and even summer is only like 35 degrees and that's a heat wave.
Yeah.
Here is like, a heat wave is like 49 degrees.
Yeah, it's like how many days have we had above 40 in a row? Yeah.
So like, but it's like, what I was getting at with the broken wrist is that I've got plates in each arm. And so I don't know if I've had nerve damage. If you're a doctor and you're listening to this, don't call me out on this because I've like, you know, my nerves are kind of gone weird. But anyway, like I've got metal in both my arms. And so like when it's cold, they get cold and then it just like makes my arms ache.
Yeah.
Like so bad. And so I just... That's what I love about Broken Hill is the warmth, because those achy bones and those achy bodies are it's just like not there.
We get sunshine nearly every day. I really love that too. I think to add another thing, I feel like we have the perfect amount of remoteness here. I think we've spoken in another pod just like how far we are from other places, but we have a Coles and a Woolworths and a Kmart and like everything that you could need, probably not everything that you would want. And it took me a while to adjust to, like, being in the Adelaide Hills, you could very easily drive to almost any shop within an hour. Like, you know, we didn't have a Costco around the corner, but you could go to a Costco once a fortnight if you wanted to. It was less than an hour's drive, or I don't know, some obsolete roller skate shop, or like you could just go anywhere. And it took me a while to adjust, but now I really love it. I love the simpler lifestyle of being remote like that. Not even just the shopping, but just you can't just be like, oh, we're going to go bowling, because there is no bowling alley, and you can't drive to the next town for a bowling alley. Like, so you end up paying more attention to like the community events that are happening and being involved with them. And there's nobody's commuting. Like there's a couple of mines that are 40 minutes out of town, so I suppose it's not nobody, but the majority of people, like we all live and work in this same place.
And I think the busiest time of year is the middle of the year, when they have, you know, the big Monday bash.
It's pretty cool, like, having like a massive music festival come out here as well. Like our town population nearly doubles. For those few days. So
for like 5 days.
It is fun. All right. What has changed most in you since moving away from it says the city. We weren't really in the city, but
what's changed most in us? I feel like,
I mean, you're 5 months in, so it's a bit different.
Okay, but I'm going to say what's happened 5 months, and then you can say 5 years. All right. So I'm 5 months in. Well, okay, I'll make a list. Okay, so I just laughed because I was like, let's bring my unemployment into that. I was employed before.
That's not really specific though to like Outback or not Outback.
But I feel like since being here and listening to the calling of God, like I've actually felt like closer to God, because I've actually listened to, you know, his plan for
my life.
There's
such freedom in being obedient to him.
And so like that is like, that's what's been different, is like, you know, my entire walk with God has just been like, it's been so fruitful. But then like you can tell that, like, you know, when like you're doing something really, really good and you're really doing something because God said so, because everything else around it is going wrong to try and lead you off the path. And so like I just kind of am like, I'm such a, like, my relationship with God is it's a lot better. It's like, I wouldn't say like better, but it's like, you know,
has a new depth.
Also, anyone on like any Wegovy girlies online, I lost 13 kilos since being here, which is so exciting. Anyway, that's fun too. So if you're looking at the videos and I look like a blob, I'm not going to look like a blob for long.
That is good. You never look like a blob to me, babe. It's fine.
Okay, a manatee?
No.
They're not extinct anymore, apparently.
Okay. I don't know.
Sorry, that was random.
I think I would agree with everything you've said. I have felt a new depth in my relationship with the Lord being out here. I also found for us as a family, when we first came out here, it was just us. So there was a real depth that came to like our marriage and even our relationships with our children. But just to throw in some fun ones, because there's so much sunshine here, my hair stays blonder for longer. So my natural hair colour gets kind of sun bleached, and I can get away.
Saving money.
Yeah, I can get away with only going to the hairdresser like twice a year. Also found the best hairdresser ever.
Yeah, I did see that same hairdresser.
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to go back for some touch-ups because I've got some greys, but...
Yeah. So, yeah, there've been some real pros. I didn't expect to find the best hairdresser of my life in Broken Hill, but I did. I've told her this when I go in almost every time. I think she's sick of hearing it, but... Although maybe not, because I only go in every 6 months. I think she thinks I'd forget about her or go somewhere else, but I don't. She just does such a good job. Awesome. All right, we'll do a couple more. What is the most millennial thing about you?
The fact that I say like.
Yeah. This is a problem, hey, because like I like
Yep.
listened to like the podcast like last night and like a few little like snippets, and all I could hear was the like.
Yeah, I think also
I was putting it on then, by the way. But
another millennial thing about me is that I still sport plastic glasses. You know,
what?
so a lot of the current generation have like gone into this sort of like 90s vibe about getting metal frames again and, you know, having
yeah.
them tinted and that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I'm here for it. They're doing a great job at it. But at the same time, I'm happy with my thick plastic frames because I'm blind without my glasses.
Are they plastic or are they acrylic?
I don't know.
But yeah, I
Didn't
know what you're
check.
saying.
I order them online and I get them delivered to my house.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know what the most millennial thing about me is. We should have answered this question for each other.
You
maybe.
said like all the time too.
I do say like a lot. I hope I don't do it when I'm preaching. I don't think I do. I think I'm more measured with my words when I'm preaching. But because I've just been having a conversation with you, it feels very normal and natural.
I know what it is.
Okay.
All right. You've had a sourdough trend.
I have done the sourdough. I have. And I do have a veggie patch. I think I'm like, you know, that like side, not like trad wife, but like millennial grandma core. I think they call it on like Instagram. Like I have a lot of grandma hobbies.
I like grandma core, but at the same time, I've actually been collecting plates. Speaking of grandma core, I've been collecting old, cute little vintage plates with like florals on them because I'm like believing that we're going to buy a house soon, even though I'm unemployed right now and living off of a pittance.
Nah, it's great. Anyone wants to sponsor the podcast?
Yeah, we're here, like KFC.
I don't care.
You know, yeah, so
maybe She Reads Truth. That's like a Bible company. They could sponsor us.
yeah, so
I don't know.
anyone that wants to jump on Elevation, you know, send your people around is fine.
You want to interview Chris Brown?
Yeah. Or no, Chandler Moore. Like,
Chandler Moore would
you
be.
know,
I have listened to a couple of podcasts where he gets interviewed.
I just love his runs. But anyway, I actually wanted to say something.
Yes.
And now I've lost it. No, that was
The
great.
most millennial thing about me.
Oh yeah, yes, it's your sourdough and your garden. But my house. Okay.
Yes.
So the thing that I'm believing for is buying a house. But at the same time, I've got this vision, and my entire Pinterest account is of plate walls.
I love a good plate wall.
Yeah. So I've been collecting.
Because I think we both go into that like millennial grandma core, because I feel like as a generation we've kind of split into segments.
Yeah.
So there was like the millennial grey, minimalist, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Whereas you and me, like I have a navy blue lounge room. The other day we're in the pool. I'm like, I reckon I should colour drench my whole dining room in dusty pink.
Yeah.
And you were like, I just can't unsee my mother's bedroom.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really can't see my mum's bedroom. And Mum, if you're listening to this, your room was gross.
We have, we have a lot of... Okay. What trend from your teen or even 20s do you secretly want to bring back?
What trend? Well, a lot of them from
Planking. Let's just start.
There's a lot that were teen when I was a teen that were like
Trend.
They're like trendy now. So it's just
a lot of it
like,
has come full circle. We used to get hot chips after church. I feel like that should be a trend.
Yeah. Actually, there was a point when I was a teen that I went to church outside of the town that I lived. And so I just kind of hang, and you'd probably feel the same, just hang around in that town all day.
All day.
And then all day. Like, you know, you'd leave church at like, say, 12:30, and then you'd go get some hot chips.
Like waiting for the night service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'd go get hot chips and you'd sit in
What
the park.
church
and
were you at? Or what town?
It was in Nairn.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
I
of
lived
course.
in Mount Barker, and then
Yeah,
I, would
yeah.
go to church in Nairn. But I didn't drive. And so I had the choice of walking 2 hours back home, which I have done, walking 2 hours back home again, and then walking 2 hours back to the service again. Or I stick around in the town with friends of mine. And we got really, really good at doing those skill testers. There was a skill tester in the chip shop, and there was like
Right.
the ones that you have to like, you have
Because
to like
back in the day, there was not a
stack
lot
the
to do in that
lights.
town.
Yeah, but there was a skill tester. This is probably where gambling issues begin, but I'm not a gambler.
It's like,
So,
I didn't think you had gambling
you know,
issues.
no, but like this is, okay, so in that town, there was a skill tester
Oh, yeah, because
machine.
all of those machines are seriously trying to, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was this skill test machine. And this was like back in the time where iPod Nanos and iPod Shuffles and like the little
yes.
square, the little
That is a
square-
trend I would like to bring back.
Yeah, iPods.
It's just
yes.
iPods, because we don't need, like, there's so much else going on your phone. But just, I think sometimes it was better when devices were separate. Like, you
Yeah.
had your iPod, you had your digital camera, and you
Yeah.
had your phone.
I just remember like there was this one girl from my youth group and she was like the pro at these stacking block skill tester machines. I don't know if you know what they are, but they're like, you have to like
I just feel for the
line
people at
up
the tip shop. They
5
catered my
squares.
wedding.
You had to line up the 5 red squares.
Yes, I know what
Like
you're talking about.
You know,
Okay.
you know what I'm talking
Yes.
about. Okay, yeah. And so the grand prize was an iPod Nano, like the mini
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
little square ones that like you clip onto the collar of your shirt
Yeah.
or whatever. And so she went in and she won like 2 of them in a row. And then I was like, oh my gosh, can you do that for me? And I remember giving her $5 and being like, just do it. This is my chip money. I want an iPod Nano. And so she went in and she got it straight away. And then I came back and I was like, yeah. And then I remember going home and my dad being like, where'd you get that from? Like, I just came home with this iPod. He probably thought that I'd like robbed a tech store or something as a like, you know, but I was like, nah, I got friends that know how to like win these things with skill test machines.
I really hope people are enjoying these tangents, because that was... All right.
But that was, I want those kind of things to happen again.
This is a really good question. What is your ultimate comfort rewatch? But you're not like a big
Nah.
TV series watcher. I can answer this
Nah.
question. So, and I haven't done it, I don't even think since moving to Broken Hill. So it's like 5 years. So if there's like deeply inappropriate things in it that I've forgotten, please forgive me. But the OC.
Oh, yeah.
I loved the OC. I remember when it came out, the first couple of seasons, my mum was like, "No, you're not watching that rubbish." And then I like reached 15 and I was like, well, Mum, it's 15 plus and I'm 15 now.
Does
So
that not
I-
sound like your own daughter?
Yeah. So I like caught up the first 2 seasons and then watched the rest like as they came out on telly. I still remember being at a friend's house and watching the last ever episode. The last season is rubbish, but I feel like I have to watch it anyways.
Yeah.
And you do eventually see Summer and Seth get married. So, like, if there's spoilers, sorry. And it's been around for like 20 years, get over it. But I love the whole story of Ryan. Again, this is like full spoilers. Skip ahead if you're thinking maybe I'll go watch the OC. You should, I think. But I love the whole story of Ryan. I love that he's in the ghetto. He's in this like low socioeconomic area. His mum just like gives up on him, and his parole officer basically takes him into his home and adopts him.
Yeah.
And then they just like all of a sudden go from 1 teenage son to 2 teenage sons. And you actually see in that show them loving him so well. And they have so many opportunities to pull out and be like, you're too hard for us. But they just keep loving him.
Yeah.
And I just, gets me every time. So, yeah, that's probably my ultimate comfort rewatch.
Yeah.
I really, really like it.
I don't think I have one. I remember when I was pregnant, and this is nearly 12 years ago now. Well, it was 12 years ago when I was pregnant.
Yeah.
But I just remember, like, from 32 weeks pregnant, I was told to go on bed rest because, like, my daughter's head was, like, fully engaged at one point. And they were like, you are going to have a baby preterm if you don't rest. And I don't know how, because I didn't have a job or anything. So I'm like, what did I do?
Yeah.
Anyway, not that having a job is going to stop a baby from coming early or not. But
I feel
anyway,
like it's a really good episode. We should do a whole episode on how we became mums.
yeah,
There's a lot in that.
Yeah, strap yourself in for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I remember when I was pregnant on bed rest and I watched the entire series of Friends, and then I ran out of that, and then I watched the entire series of Desperate Housewives, And then I ran out of that. And then, like, later into my pregnancy, I was watching Scrubs.
Oh, yeah.
I watched Scrubs a lot. It's windy outside.
It is windy.
And I watched Scrubs, and then there was a point where the janitor was cleaning windows, and he had blue stuff in his spray bottle to clean windows. And as you know, window cleaner's blue. And then one of the doctors went up to him and said he like sprayed the spray bottle in his mouth, and he's like, wait, and just kind of then went on to still talking, and he was like, wait, isn't that window cleaner? And he was like, no, I put blue Gatorade in my spray bottle so then I can spray it in my mouth and shock everyone, and everyone freaks out that I'm actually poisoning myself.
These are supposed to be quick answers.
Right, okay, so this is okay. No, but then
So you're pregnant watching all this?
I was pregnant watching all of this, and then I was like, it was a pregnancy craving of just blue Gatorade. I just wanted to drink that for the rest of the thing. But that's probably the last time I've actually sat and watched a series.
All right.
12 years ago.
We want like one sentence answers. We're just going to smash out some fast, fun, silly ones.
Okay.
And then we're going to finish up because I reckon we'll be at about an hour by then.
All right.
All right. Coffee order and why it matters to your soul.
Long black, ice long black. Why it matters to my soul, because it tastes good.
Does it matter to your indigestion as well?
Oh, yeah, I'm also lactose intolerant.
Yeah. Mine is a oat latte, and I just, don't know, stopped drinking milk because it has lots of calories when I was on a weird diet and just kind of stuck with it. Favourite weird snack combo?
Oh, nah, you can't go past the peanut butter and celery.
Peanut butter and celery, that is good.
Yeah, it is a good, yeah.
My hyperfixation at the moment is cheese and sweet pickles on sourdough.
Did you say sweet peoples?
Sweet pickles,
Oh, it sounded like people, sorry.
like gherkins.
Oh, yum, I do love good gherkin.
What's your current hyperfixation? You are listening to it.
Yeah. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Dream holiday if budget wasn't a thing.
I think I'd like to do I've always wanted to do around the world trip. How you pay back in the day when I originally looked at it when I was 19, it was $2,500 and you stopped at all these different
places.
capital cities around the world, which I think would be so cool because you're in a month or two, you're just going, you're like, oh yeah, hey, I've been there.
I recently planned my own trip to Europe, which was amazing, and up until then was probably my dream holiday. Was a dream, was really great. But now my dream holiday is I want to go to a tropical island, I don't care where, probably somewhere in Southeast Asia, to an all-inclusive resort. I just want to not even have to think about it. It's cost the same anyways. You want another coffee, you want another plate of cheese, you want another drink. It's all just, yep, cool, whatever. It's all-inclusive. A cruise would do the job as well, again, if it was all-inclusive. I just want to go somewhere and it be all-inclusive and I can just be a lady of leisure and order whatever I want, whenever I want. Right, this is a good one. Try not to go any tangents. What is the most chaotic thing you've done in ministry?
Recently?
No, ever.
Oh. I don't think there was anything chaotic.
I decided when I was 36, 37 weeks pregnant to take a bunch of youth on a youth conference. That was pretty chaotic.
Oh, yeah, actually, all right, okay, this is full disclosure. All right, we're in a safe space here. No one's going to judge us for this.
They might.
Oh, no, okay, maybe I shouldn't say it. I don't know if I've told you this. Maybe I did. Maybe I shouldn't say it. I'm not going to say it, actually.
Okay, all right.
We'll leave that on that one.
If your life had
actually, no, I thought of it. Sorry. Okay, sorry, we were doing this thing. So the show Amazing Race, we were doing
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was a chaotic thing. It was actually really funny. And so I was a station. We'd set, people up at stations, and you did it in the city of Adelaide. And so I'd set myself up in a station, and so the youth had to find in their groups, had to find someone in a multi-storey car park.
Right.
To get their clue. And I was that person in the multi-storey car park.
Right.
And I was so excited for this post. I was
because we basically remade
the Amazing Race.
We took the Amazing Race show and turned it into a youth event.
Yeah. So we did that. And I just remember I was in this car park and I that people would have to. I think I was like level 6 or 7. Yeah, so and so they had to find me within that level of this car park. And I remember someone, like a passerby, saying to me as I was waiting by my car, like my car was very easily. I'm sorry, this is not one sentence, but this is actually a really funny story. Okay, so I was hiding in this car park, and then all the youth were coming in to find me and blah, blah, blah. And then I then saw as the last team, there was like 5 or 6 teams that had come to find me. And as the last team had come to find me, I was like, right, awesome, let's get out of here. We've got to go to the next station. And so I'd pulled out of the car, I'd paid for the parking, pulled out of the car park. And as I'd pulled out of the car park, like I'd heard there was like someone that had reported to security that there was someone hiding between the cars, which was actually me.
Yes.
And so then I pulled out of the car park and I started like, after I'd paid and like was going out of the car park, and as I was going down the spiral of the ramp, I witnessed the security guard going up the spiral, walking up the spiral, checking between all the cars. Like, and
So you started a security check.
so then I kind of was like, ooh,
Do I stop him and
whoopsie.
tell him it was me for a youth event? But then we probably shouldn't have been like sending youth in between, like in a private car park.
It was 13 years ago. It doesn't matter
It's not
anymore.
loud. They're not going to come for us now.
But it was actually quite funny because I was like, "Eh," and then I like joked about it with everyone afterwards. I was like, so, and I told them the story, and we all had a good laugh about it, which
That
was
was
great.
a really cool youth event.
Yeah.
There is a podcast that already covers this, but we could do a whole episode on just chaotic things that happen in youth ministry. Okay, what was the last one? All right. If your life had a movie soundtrack, what genre would it be? I've already had time to think. I think mine would be like soft punk rock type. Like think Switchfoot, Paramore, Reliant K. Like that's the kind of music I would want to be the soundtrack.
With like, would you wear Converse? Would you wear high tops?
I don't know.
I feel like that's what.
It would just be like a movie about my life, but that would be the soundtrack
Your
to
sure
it.
choice with your punk music. I think. I don't know what I'd be. I think. I really love a good Disney musical.
Yeah.
So I feel like maybe like.
Yours would be a musical.
I think mine would be like some sort of Disney musical.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
And what Christian meme will forever be relevant?
Christian meme.
Well, like my favourite one that I think will forever be relevant, and forgive me about the dates, I think it's like 1590 or something, coffee reaches Europe, and then like a few years later, Martin Luther King starts the Reformation, and the like meme says, beware a caffeinated pastor. And I think that's really funny. Also, people ask me, do I need the Holy Spirit to go to Walmart? And I'm like, bruh. No, do I need the Holy Spirit to go to heaven? And I'm like, bruh, you need the Holy Spirit to go to Walmart.
That's also a meme. Yeah.
I don't know if that's a meme. Is that a meme?
I don't know, but I feel like I'm not like a meme girl either. I'm more of a gift girl, or like, a real girl. Like, I think I'm going to change it from a meme to a reel. And
Yeah.
I think if you have seen on any social media platform, worship fails.
Oh, yeah, they're good.
Like, I love those, and I resonate with them so much. Like, yeah, so much.
There's also that one with the lady, or like it's like a girl on a roller coaster, and she just looks like completely terrified, and the person next to her is just like smiling happily, and it's like me following the Holy Spirit's plans for my life.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Or that little kid that's like, what do you mean, are you a Christian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. All right. Well, I think that's all from us. I reckon next episode we should do how we became mums, because I feel like there's some pretty deep stuff in there.
There's a lot of stuff to unpack with that one, so you might need to strap yourself in.
Strap yourself in. The last two have probably been a little bit softer, but we really hope you've been enjoying listening to us. I think the plan, I was thinking, haven't told you this yet, but the plan was to drop episodes on a Wednesday and a Friday.
Sure, love that.
Yeah. So,
Love that.
yeah, if you've been listening all this time, thank you. Please, share this around.
Yeah.
Just drop it in some friends' in DMs. obviously we both deeply love Jesus, but I think that these conversations appeal to anyone.
Yeah.
I would hope so. And just say, hey, these are some close friends of mine. They're doing this podcast. Maybe you don't know us from a bar of soap. Maybe you are one of the people that this has been shared with. I just would encourage you to share it, like it, subscribe it, all of those things. We're on Spotify, Apple Tunes,
Apple Music?
Apple Podcasts.
Is that the whole thing? I don't know.
Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and hopefully by the time this episode launches, it'll be on YouTube as well.
Yeah, sorry
so
that
you can see our smiley faces
I just
and our
want to
dogs.
apologise that we don't have clips yet that you can hear this stuff, because there was a lot of that feedback last night too, of oh hey, it was really cool, but I don't have Spotify, and I'm like, oh, that's an issue, but which is why we've kind of branched out too.
Yeah, so we're trying to get it on a few different platforms, and hopefully we can get some reels happening as well. But be blessed. Jesus loves you. See you, love you, bye.
Love you, bye.
That was very musical.
Thanks.